What is wrong with this? Hey, y'all. Oh, that's so cold blooded. Hey, everybody that's online. If you can hear me, go give me a thumbs emoji. This light was working the whole time, and when I decide to go live, it don't want to turn on. Ain't that about nothing? Anyway, at least say something in the comments if y'all tapped in on the live and y'all could. Here we go. And y'all can hear me. You feel me? Let me set this up here because I always like to do my sound check. Tell me some. I see the little thing down there at the bottom. Says that you guys can hear me. Okay, good. You guys can hear me. All right. I just want to talk about, the title of this live is what I learned from fasting and why it's necessary. You feel me? I feel it's necessary for me. And I want to get into three different categories of the fasting aspect, which is the physical, the mental, and the spiritual aspect, right? And I figured that maybe a lot of people aren't too interested in this topic, because it's not like hot news or a hot take or popular thing that's going on. It's not like a trending topic, you know, like cuz a lot of times when people like do what I do and they go live and stuff like that, they like to talk about like the biggest thing that happened this week because it keeps their engagement high. And I'm not against it, you feel me? That's what I did initially to grow my platforms like back in 2018. In 2019 I was like always talking about whatever was going on currently. I had an opinion about everything. I mean, and I still do, I have opinions, but this particular topic, even though it might not be a popular one, is one that I really felt necessary to talk about because I just finished something that I call the 52 days of consecration, right? Let me throw this away. All right. Hey to everybody in the live. I appreciate you guys joining in and letting me know that you guys can hear me. Yes. So in regards to fasting, just to give a little insight of what I did, I did what I call 52 days of consecration. I started it on February 23rd of this year, and I finished it on April 15th. And then as the 52nd day happened, I started a 3-day liquids only fast. So from April 15th to the 17th, I didn't eat anything. I just drank water and teas, and I had a little bit of fruit juice, but not even like juice, because juice, is just a bunch of sugar, but like actual real juice from like fruits and vegetables, just a little bit though. But what prompted me to do that, just to give you guys a little insight about me, is that at the end of last year, I found myself drinking and smoking more than I normally would. Now, mind you, I wasn't like smoking every day, and I rarely drink. I'm such a lightweight. All I need is like two cocktails for me to be very tipsy, so I'm not much of a drinker. I'm very like, I'm such a lightweight. I can't handle hard liquor. Brown liquor will burn my throat and it's not for me. But anyway, but still, I felt like I was just leaning too much into like other vices. And this isn't to condemn everybody or anybody on the live that may be drinking or smoking or whatever. It's never for I'm just letting you guys, I'm just telling you guys what I was doing and what I did to, as a result of what I was doing at the end of last year. So if you're on the live, please don't feel condemned, or, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do with their life or say that anything is bad, because I get it. I like being high personally, So, but I was smoking, and I realized that I was like not getting much accomplished. I would get high and then I'd sit down and laugh and like eat, and that's how I ended up being 140 pounds at the end of last year, and going up a couple of pan sizes and being heavier than I ever wanted to be, because I'd be getting high and getting the munchies and just eating up all the sweets, all the breads, everything that make your back wide. You know what I'm saying? And so at the beginning of this year, I started doing a caloric deficit, which was it's a type of fast, but I was doing, I started doing a caloric deficit, but the fast that I'm talking about, the 52 days of consecration, was basically about realigning myself, because I feel like people that are creative people, um, I feel like we get downloads that we're not necessarily any more creative than another person, but it's just something about the channel. It's open to receive the creative ideas that float around the ethers. I feel like ideas don't really belong to anybody. It's not like I came up with stuff or I come up with anything. Is that the channel was open at the time that that idea was floating around and it was downloaded into me. I firmly believe that because there's so many people that have written songs that I literally have recorded in my voice memos, like concepts and stuff that I thought about, but because I didn't act on the idea, God picked it up and gave it to somebody else and they downloaded it and did something with it. So it ain't nobody steal your idea. You just didn't execute it quickly enough and someone else got that download. And so I feel like me personally, I'm talking about myself. I feel like when I'm drinking and smoking, the channel closes and I'm not able to receive those creative downloads. So for me personally, that was the whole reason for the 52 days of consecration, why I decided to start it, right? Now, going into what I learned from that, you know, what I learned. Happy Resurrection Sunday for everybody that's saying that to me in the live. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Someone said, was there a meaning to it being a total of 52 days? Junior Coleman, yes, that is actually a really good question. It was. The 52 days was actually inspired by the story of Nehemiah in the Bible, right? And in the story of Nehemiah, the walls of like Jerusalem were broken down, right? The people had been defeated, the city was broken down, and the state of the city was something that took a real toll on the prophet Nehemiah. And so he said he was going to rebuild the wall. And when he went to go rebuild the wall, he kept working and he was working, working, working. And it was a whole lot of his enemies that were threatening to kill him, right? While he was building the wall. And that didn't stop him. Even though he was getting death threats, people was trying to come and attack them while they were rebuilding. They would build with a sword in one hand and their hammer and their tools in the other. And it took them a total of 52 days to complete the wall, right? So initially, when I started the 52 days of consecration, it was this idea that I was going to consecrate myself and work, abstain from drinking, smoking, anything that causes debauchery, like those type of combative shows that put us in an argumentative type of dispensation. I decided that I was going to abstain from all of that, right? And so that is the purpose of the 52 days. I'm going to work. I'm going to work without ceasing. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get the results I want. I'm going to consecrate myself. That was the purpose. And the crazy thing about that is that throughout the 52 days, one of the main things I learned was surrendering. And I know that sounds like a little crazy or a little whatever, but I feel like a lot of people in our generation that are millennials, or even if you're not a millennial, if you're younger, you're Gen Z or Gen Alpha, or older, Generation X or whatever the case may be. We have this idea of where we should be in life and we feel like failures. Well, I'll say I feel like it because I don't want to put my what I be going through on everybody else. My experiences may be similar to yours, but I don't know. So I'll say I a lot of times will feel like a failure because I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life, or I should be further along. I should have this. I should have this by now. Those type of thoughts plague my mind sometimes, and that's why I decided I was going to work for these 52 days. I was going to get my body together, work out, and do all these things because, I wanted to get to a place. But within the 52 days, I learned that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, you know, and that me personally, I'm a lot harder on myself than I should be. I give everybody around me grace, my friends, I don't judge them. They do things that I might not agree with, but it doesn't matter. If you my friend, I'm still rocking with you. I'll let you know that maybe I wouldn't have done that, or that might not be the best, in regards to like the health of your life or your mind. But I'm not going to judge you for it because everybody make mistakes. But I wasn't granting myself the uh the liberty of making mistakes, even though it's bound to happen. Does anybody on the live feel where I'm coming from? You get so mad at yourself for making mistakes. You look at your past self, the you from a couple of years ago, and think about how dumb they were and ruminate about everything that you did that you should have done differently. Like all of that is out. That's one of the main things I learned from fasting is that all that ruminating about what I should have done or what I could have done differently If things didn't happen the way that they did, I wouldn't be who I am today, right? So yeah, so that was one of the main things. But I want to get into very quickly because I've already been talking for 10 minutes. Some of the benefits of fasting. You know, a lot of you guys ask me, especially a lot of the ladies, they ask me my skincare routine and my hair care and all this other kind of stuff. And honestly, I don't do a lot of like I don't do a lot of stuff for my face. I literally use Dr. Bronner's castle soap and some lotion, some La Roche. Yeah, what's that? La Roche Posay lotion I put on my face and witch hazel. That's my three. Those are the three things that I use. And it's not all this other extensive stuff. But the fasting, because it's outside of the 52 days of consecration, I've been intermittent fasting for over a decade now. I don't eat before noon. I never have breakfast. I do not eat before noon and I don't eat after 8 p.m. So I leave a window of time between 12 and 8 to eat food, and I don't eat outside of those times. Now, I want to tell you guys some of the physical benefits, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it'll help to answer the question of like why I think fasting is necessary. I said I wanted to get into the physical first, and then I'm going to get into the mental aspects, and then of course the spiritual aspects. I think, let me see, I pulled up some stuff, but the one of the main benefits of fasting, especially the intermittent fasting, is it's very anti-aging. Just to give you guys like a little biology background, I guess. I'm fascinated with science. I've always loved science, and I see the chats there. I promise I'm gonna get to them, and I'm gonna get into some of them questions. um, I've been fascinated with science for as long as I can remember. And the cells in our body, the way that they work is very interesting to me. What causes aging is our chromosomes wearing down. There's something called telomeres at the ends of our chromosomes, which is basically like a cap. It's described as like a shoelace. You know how you have a shoelace and you have like the plastic piece or the metal piece at the end of your shoelace that keeps the lace from unraveling and messing up. Our chromosomes are the same way. They have these caps at the end of them called telomeres that stops the chromosomes from deteriorating and unraveling, because the deterioration of those telomeres is literally what causes aging, you know? But fasting, specifically intermittent fasting, has been known to reduce the deterioration of those telomeres and actually lengthen the telomeres. So it is literally reversing the aging process by limiting the times of when you eat, not eating all throughout the day, all throughout the night. Um, it also reduces inflammation in the body. It helps to regulate your blood sugar and makes you more sensitive to insulin. So if anybody's on the live struggling with diabetes or might be diabetic, it helps to increase insulin sensitivity so that your body could function the way that it's supposed to. It helps with weight loss. There's so many different benefits. I have a long list of stuff here, of what it does for the physical aspect, but it basically just reverses the aging process. It makes your body function way, 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 way better, and it helps with brain fog and for you to not have like cognitive decline. Like, diseases, brain degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Fasting has been proven to like reduce the likelihood of that happening, so it has really great physical benefits. Now, before I get into the mental stuff and the spiritual stuff, those aspects, let me look at some of what the chat is saying, because I see there's a super chat in there and I greatly appreciate that. Shakeem Diggs, thank you so much for the super chat. What is this floating in the thing? He says, have you ever tried drinking kombucha or synergy? I actually have. I've tried kombucha. I'm not opposed to it. I just me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of drinking things that have like sugar in them. I'm a water and tea type of person, and like no sweetener in my tea. I drink tea every day. Is either Moroccan mint tea with a little bit of matcha added in, or during the weekdays, that's what I drink. And then in the on the weekends, I treat myself with jasmine pearl tea. It's my favorite, but it's very expensive, which is why I save it for the weekends. But yeah, kombucha is good. It's good because it has healthy bacteria that promotes, your gut microbiome doing what it needs to do, and that is vital. Like that is of the utmost importance. Having a good gut microbiome is like that is incredibly important. And kombucha does help with that, but it also has, a little bit of sugar in it. And I try to stay away from drinks that have sugar in them, me personally. But anyway, let me look at some of these. Successful MD said experience is the best teacher. And I'm sure you're saying that in regards to us ruminating on the past and how the past could have done better. And that's exactly true. We wouldn't know things unless we experienced them. And that's what life is about, having a collection of experiences. And yeah. So I'm really glad that I've understood that in regards to the fasting aspects. Let me look at some of these other comments. Junior Coleman said, okay, that's a great way. Um, make 52 days work for you. I assume that's what that's saying. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see what else we have. Oh, he put, yeah, that was make. Um, someone said you have great discipline. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, Belita, is that what that says? Belita Glow Soap and Candles says, do you eat meat? I do. I was a pescatarian for, I don't know, maybe like 15 years. And then just a couple years ago, I reintroduced chicken and turkey back into my diet. But I think I'm going to go back pescatarian, honestly, because I noticed changes with my cycle. When I became a pescatarian, my cycle got shorter, and I cut out like dairy. My cycle went from 5 days to like 2.5, which I liked. And then when I introduced chicken and turkey back into my diet, my cycle went back to like 5 days. And so I think I'm gonna, yeah. I know that's TMI for the brothers that might be on the live, but women, we need to know about this because a lot of us be suffering in silence. We be having crazy cycle stuff going on, and we don't know what to do because don't nobody be talking about it. It's not taboo for me. It's conversations that need to be had. But yeah, so I do eat I eat chicken and turkey and salmon, well, seafood, but not like shellfish. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to stay away from like crab and shrimp and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's my diet. Um but yeah, so to get back into the benefits of the fasting, I feel like it's so necessary for us to really put a focus in on like our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being as people. And fasting, I talked about the physical benefits because it is extensive. It's anti-aging. The reason why you could look at a picture of me from today and a picture of me from 15 years ago and it looked the same. It literally looks like I took those pictures minutes apart from each other. You guys, I haven't aged in over a decade. And it's kind of crazy to me. But, it's from fasting. It's from intermittent fasting. My it helps your resting heart rate. You feel me? My resting heart rate. Let's look at what it is for today. My resting heart rate for today is 56. It's a little higher than usual. Normally it'd be like right at 50, but it's 56. My heart has like no problem delivering blood where it needs to go. And I know that's a result of fasting, you know. Not having inflammation in the body, your skin looking all good, your nails, hair, feeling good in your own body, not having a bunch of issues and ailments, reducing the blood sugar and helping insulin sensitivity. We've gone over some of the physical benefits, but I feel like the mental and spiritual benefits are just so amazing because of the fact that like fasting, nothing helps you to develop your discipline better than turning down your plate. Like for those of us who want to be disciplined and don't know where to start, like maybe we don't have the discipline to go to the gym every day. We don't have the discipline to do certain things. Nothing will help build your discipline better than saying, I'm not going to eat right now. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm not eating for 3 days or it doesn't have to be something drastic like that. You could take that on if you want to, but just setting times to say, I'm going to skip breakfast or I'm going to skip this or I'm not going to have snacks all throughout the night or whatever the case may be. It helps to develop a discipline in you that literally bleeds over to everything else in your life. If you could be disciplined with your food, you could be disciplined with anything. You could be disciplined with sex. Some people just they like, oh, if a person in front of me, I'm gonna do it because the hormones start going, stuff start percolating. If you could turn your plate down, you could turn down anything. You know what I'm saying? And it helps because being disciplined and being able to deny yourself and tell yourself no is how you get like where you want to be in life. And not to say that I've arrived or I have it all together because I don't. I definitely don't. But it's helped significantly for me to at least attempt to move in the direction that I want to go. I know that for certain. Let me get to the super chat. Um, and some of the rest of the comments, and then because I feel like the mental and physical are kind of tied in together, but I will get more into that. You feel me? I've already been talking for 20 minutes. This is crazy. Time be going by so fast sometimes. Um, the main lion, thank you so much for the super chat, says been doing intermittent fasting every day, 16 or 18 more hours almost every day for some years now. Yeah, it's really good for you. And then he put oh, I hate it. Autophagy. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's how you say it. But yes, and that's a very thank you so much for the super chat again. That is a very good that what he hashtags autophagy, I think that is. But anyway, it's about like how the body goes into a state of where it's cell renewal. Like after like 16 hours of not eating, your body renews its cells and it starts using like fats to fuel your body instead of glucose, because the body's main source of fuel is normally glucose. It's sugar, right? And if you want to lose weight, or if you want to burn fat in some areas, fasting will really help, because after not eating for 16 hours, your body starts to it switches from burning glucose to burning that fat and breaking it down, and the next thing you're losing weight. But it helps with the cell regeneration and the telomeres, like I was talking about, how it basically reverses the aging process. So thank you for co-signing that. Let me look at some of these other comments. She said, yes, you said my name correct. Okay, good, thank you so much. uh AG1 says, single dad, now we need to know. I'm so glad that we have some mature and understanding men in the comments who are not afraid of hearing about women's monthly menstrual cycles. I say this all the time, that men, if y'all want to be all up in it, then you should know about all aspects of it. It shouldn't be a taboo thing. Like, why is it that women have to whisper about it when half of the people on the planet have to deal with this, or have had to deal with it or will have to deal with it? Like, it's we need to talk about it, because there's so many women that suffer in silence, and we having terrible cycles and don't know exactly what's going on, and we don't talk about it because nobody really brings it up. But I've always been like that. Like, me personally, I will take a mirror. I've been examining my lady parts since I was like, since I was real young. It's like, let me look at myself, see what's going on down there, and it ain't never been taboo. I'm gonna talk about it. Any man that I've dated, they know what's going on with me, because I'm not about to act like this ain't a thing. you know, if you want to be up in it, you're gonna know about all of it. I'm not gonna be hiding what I'm going through and the pains and stuff. You gonna be invested the same as me. Okay. All right. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. But yes, fasting. Oh, and one thing about fasting, well, that's another life for another day. I'll get into like the teas and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to get too long and get on a tangent. Um, Belita Belita Glow Soap and Candle says, I've been training myself to just stop eating. LOL, ain't gotta be eating all day. Yeah, and what I would suggest is everybody, I feel like at one point in their life, should count their calories. I have this calorie counting app that is free, that I use. And I'm not saying that you should count your calories every day of your life forever, but just do it for like 2 or 3 days, just so you can get an idea of like how much you're really eating. Because I don't feel like we, especially people in America, our portion sizes are out of control. Like our large drinks, no, our small drinks are larger than most countries' large drinks. You guys know what I'm saying? Like we have a 16-ounce small, right? Or a medium. That's bigger than most countries' largest size. Like our portions are out of control. And so you don't even really understand how much you're supposed to be eating. You don't realize how quickly you can hit 2,000 calories until you like counting it. And I treat my calories like a bank account. I only got 1,780 calories per day. And I'm not trying to go in the negative. You feel me? If I use up my calories, I'm done. I'm done for today. So I got to use the calories wisely. But yeah, so I would suggest that so you can just get an idea, because I feel like we don't know how much we be eating. Like Americans, I feel like we eat a lot and we don't know that we eating that damn much. I didn't. I was eating like, oh, those little Ritz peanut butter cracker sandwiches. They come in a packs of 6 crackers, right? I was like, oh, these little crackers, it's a snack. You feel me? And I would eat like two of them because I'm like, they're a snack, but those are like 200 calories each. Like just a fourth a cup of pecans is 200 calories, and I was eating like a whole half a bag of pecans, thinking I'm eating a healthy snack because I'm eating it with a mango, which is like 200 calories. Like that at I was eating probably like 800 calories as a snack. I've already used up half my whole little wop on a so-called snack, and I even know it, you know. So everybody should just count just to get an idea so you can see like, well, damn. No wonder I'm not losing weight or doing whatever. But anyway, fasting is so necessary to develop discipline. And once you develop the discipline, the mental aspect of developing the discipline, the spiritual aspects, it's like so much more control that you have over yourself. Not to say that you never get out of a character or you don't let things affect you, because we are human. We're people. We get out of character, we get upset, stuff affects us, we might fly off the handle even in the midst of a fast. But it helps with that level of self-control to where you're not just doing a bunch of crazy stuff that can land you in the grave or in somebody's prison. Because remember, I was talking about that, having self-control and having emotional control and the importance of that. I talked about that a couple lives ago. And fasting will help to build that to where you're more spiritually sound, and you don't just allow things to ruin your whole day or change the trajectory of how you were feeling or what you were doing today. It really has amazing benefits, and I would implore everybody to try it at least once. Do a little bit of intermittent fasting. Do some they talking about all these anti-aging creams. They got this regenerous cream, this cream that's supposed to have collagen and stem cells in it and all this other. None of that nonsense work. What you need is intermittent fasting and some water. Okay. That's what you need. All right. That's what works. Let me read some of these, and I'm be getting off the live because I've already been talking for a whole 27 minutes. That's been going by fast. Let me see. Somebody said, Successful MD said, you then develop more mental strength and spiritual strength through fasting. Yeah, it's very, very true. Um, Inglewood Edition says, I love seeing some of the same people every time Erica goes live. We're all family now. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes. I see a lot of the same names too. I notice you, Inglewood Edition, you be up in here. Successful MD too. And where is he? Junior Coleman. I'll be seeing him commenting a lot, you know. And Davina Uch, is it Uche? I hope I'm saying that right. My apologies if I'm saying it wrong. Davina Uche says, you look so beautiful. Also, your skin is beautiful and so clear. Do you have any beauty tips, makeup for the girls? Yeah, this is the beauty tip right here. Fasting. I'm telling you. And the crazy thing is that you'll see results very quickly. Like it won't take long for your body to start adjusting. Because what I do use, like I said, I use Dr. Bronner's castle soap, the tea tree one, and then I use witch hazel as a toner because I believe in them old school tried and true methods. My mom, she swear by witch hazel, so I've been using. Her skin looks amazing. I use witch hazel, and then I moisturize with a La Roche Posay lotion. In regards to makeup, I just use concealer. I got my little makeup and all the stuff is behind me here. If you can see that. Trying to point, but it's reversed. But yeah, I just use these two concealers. The lighter one for the under eye area, the darker one for around here and all around here. And this is what I use. And I do my eyebrows. So it's not an extensive makeup routine. But yeah, water. I make sure I drink 64 ounces. I have a big glass water jug that has like the hours marked on it. So like by this time, I should drink this much water. I put a little bit, just this pinch of Celtic sea salt in my water in the mornings, and I drink it as the day goes by. And I put liquid chlorophyll in my water as well, and I drink that. And I've been doing that for years. And I drink my water, and I feel like beauty tips and skincare is all about what goes in. It's a small part of it is what you put on your face. A major part of it is what you put in your body, and making sure that when you do moisturize your face, that you rub up. My mom told me this when I was a teenager. Gravity is going to pull your face down already. Don't help it. Don't help gravity pull your face down. When you moisturize, you put your stuff on like this and you pull your face up. You put it between your eyebrows and pull up and back. Never pull your face down. Never pull your neck down either. When you lotion your neck, up with it. Up, everything up. Because we're not helping gravity yank our face down, okay? We're not washing our face and doing all of this here and pulling, be gentle with your skin, gentle with your body. That's a sidebar. I hope that answers your question. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And what else? Yeah, I don't pick at my face. I don't let other people touch my face. I'm not really big on people rubbing and caressing all on my face, especially if you ain't washed your hands, you know. But yeah, those are tips that I have. Let me look at some of the other things that people are saying. Um, Rusty Break said it's the best medicine. Yeah, I assume you're talking about fasting. Yes, I would definitely agree. Junior Coleman said a healthy diet. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Aunt Fresh, thank you so much for being alive, being a moderator. I know you be tapped in. Yes. Successful MD said detoxing occurs through fasting as well. Yes, that is another benefit. Let me see what else. What we have. Ulysses Whitaker says witch hazel is definitely a game changer. Yeah, I mean, it's those tried and true methods. We've been talking about black don't crack, and everybody loves saying that, but black's starting to crack now because we taking skincare advice from people who don't age as well as we do. That's all I'll say. Instead of looking back at our grandmamas and our moms, like I'm not listening to no dermatologists and what they got to say. And I mean, that's just me. Let me say that. Let me preface it by saying that's me. Because if my mama's skin look better than you and you're younger than her, I'm not gonna listen to you. you know, my mama said, like Bobby Boucher would say, my mama said, use witch hazel, use regular soap, rub your face up. You know, she put witch hazel on everything, bug bites, you know, all sorts of stuff. Witch hazel, any type of swelling, any type of inflammation, put some witch hazel on it, and that's what we be doing. And so yeah, and I'm talking about that real witch hazel. I'm not talking about like that toner that got witch hazel in it, because they have companies that make like, oh, this is the new rose water witch hazel toner, and it got a whole bunch of other stuff in it. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about straight up witch hazel. That's it. That's all that's in it is a witch hazel and nothing else. No fragrance, no parfum, no none of that other stuff. Just straight up witch hazel. That smell like witch hazel. You know how witch hazel got that smell. All that other fragrances and stuff be irritating people's skin. We don't need it. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope that you guys understood where I was coming from and got something from the live. Hopefully that will encourage you all to start some sort of fasting, whether or not it's intermittent fasting, whether or not it's turning down your plate, whether or not it's turning off your mind from certain things. Because like I said, it was the alcohol and weed and sex as well. And then mind you, it's not like I was just having a bunch of sex, because I only be doing that if I'm in a relationship. I'm not just out here casually. I don't do the casual sex thing. That's not my get down, and it never has been. Like if I'm being intimate with you, we like in. Like I'm your lady. I just be like, you feel me? I don't be dibbling and dabbling. But even though I wasn't really doing it, still like I need to, because that'll cloud your perspective and how you caught up and doing a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be doing. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm about to get off the live. I just wanted to come and share. I know this live was a little different because it's more so me just, I mean, I'd be rambling on every live, I guess, and just talking about like what's going on with me. But it's more so me just, sharing what I've been doing the past couple of months and the effect that it's had on me, and hoping that it will, have a positive effect on you guys as well. So that's all I have to say. I love you guys. I appreciate you all for being on the live, tapping in with me every week. Thank you so much. You guys said we need an hour. For me to be talking, I don't know. I mean, I think 30 minutes to do it, But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again next week. You feel me? Same time, same place. Bye. Love y'all. Where the end live button? There it is. Bye. Love you guys.